What's up, everybody? My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I own a bookkeeping business. And now I teach you how to start your own bookkeeping business. It's pretty simple. I try to keep it straightforward. I try to be honest. I try to be genuine. I don't really have anything to sell you other than I guess I have a course that you could buy. But honestly, I don't even care if you buy the course. I make 90% of my money from my actual bookkeeping business. I am just making these YouTube videos kind of because I enjoy talking about my bookkeeping business. And honestly, my wife is sick of hearing me talk about it. So I make these videos so that I can tell somebody about my bookkeeping business who actually might care about what I have to say. I get questions all the time. I have a Facebook group. The link for the group is in the description of this video. I also get a ton of comments on my YouTube videos. I do try to respond to all of my comments. So if you guys have any questions, drop a comment in this YouTube video or go to my Facebook page and make a post. I will do my best to answer all of your questions. In this video specifically, I'm going to take some time to address two questions that everybody asks me almost daily. So I figured I'd just make a video because I'm sure a bunch of you are wondering the same thing. The question goes like this. I'm looking for a training opportunity as a remote accountant. I have a college degree in finance, I've got the basics of accounting, and I've actually worked as an accountant. But I'm looking for a job where I can gain practical experience and train on QuickBooks. That is a specific question, but I get questions like that all the time. How do I get experience? People ask me, can I work for you? I have literally had, please, if you're watching this, don't do this. I have had hundreds of people email me, message me, call me, and say, hey, I'll work for free. I just want to learn bookkeeping. Please don't do that. I'm not going to hire anybody for free. It's just not going to happen. Just please stop asking. I appreciate the sentiment. I do appreciate it, but I'm not going to hire anybody for free as like a college intern or whatever. Like, it's just not going to happen. If I do end up hiring somebody, it's probably going to be somebody who I trust, who already has some bookkeeping experience. Okay, anyway, so how can you specifically get some experience on bookkeeping and QuickBooks and accounting? Let me just say, you don't need a college degree in finance or business or accounting. You don't need any college degree. And everything I'm about to tell you is all based on my experience. This is not something that I learned in a course. This is not something that I read in a book. This is everything from my own personal experience. I started my bookkeeping business 3 years ago. I had a college degree, but it was in psychology, not in anything remotely related to accounting. I had work experience, but nothing related to business or accounting. I was in the Army, and then I worked as a warehouse manager for Amazon. Literally no accounting or finance experience. And then I didn't have any proper certifications other than I was a certified QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. That is the one and only thing I recommend all of you do while you're starting your bookkeeping business. But you don't need any experience or any college degree or any certifications or credentials. You don't need to be a CPA. You don't need to have an accounting degree. You don't need to have bookkeeping experience. And I know that 1000% because I did it 3 years ago. I had no experience. So whenever people ask me, how can I get experience? You have a couple options. You could get a job as working in the accounts payable or accounts receivable department of a larger company, or you could be an accounting clerk, or maybe you could be a bookkeeper for a medium-sized business. If you have a college degree, maybe you could be a staff accountant at a large company. That would all be decent accounting experience, but you don't need to do any of that. You're only going to make $20, maybe $25 per hour doing that, which is a fine, livable wage, but you're going to be an employee. You're going to work 8 hours a day. You're going to learn a little bit, but it's not really going to help you start your bookkeeping business. That's not really the experience that you need. If you're really afraid to start your own business, then that might be a decent option for you. But if you are eager to get started, if you're willing to put yourself out there, if you're willing to take a risk, and if you're looking for higher pay, higher reward than just $25 an hour, then I recommend don't get a full-time job. Instead, you need to spend all of your time on sales and marketing. That is the key. So let me back up. Starting a bookkeeping business is a 4-step process. Step number 1, you have to obviously understand QuickBooks and bookkeeping fundamentals, which you can learn QuickBooks by becoming a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. Boom, that's done. You can learn bookkeeping fundamentals honestly by watching YouTube videos or reading blogs, or maybe take like one online community college class, like Intro to Accounting or Accounting Fundamentals or Accounting 101. That one class, that one college class will teach you all of the accounting fundamentals that you need to know. Things like debits and credits, income statement, balance sheet, journal entries, assets, liabilities, equity, all of those basic chart of accounts, all of those basic accounting and bookkeeping fundamentals. You need to understand a little bit of that. QuickBooks, definitely. Bookkeeping, yes. But here's the thing. You can learn all of that stuff as you go. You don't need to be so I brand myself as a bookkeeping expert, which I am after 3 years, but I was not a bookkeeping expert 3 years ago. I just wasn't. Like, plain and simple, I got my first client and I did not know what I was doing. That's the honest truth. But you learn as you go. You're always reading and studying and learning and watching and experiencing new things so that you learn as you go. You're going to learn QuickBooks tricks and tips as you get clients and as you start working in QuickBooks. The best way to learn is to do research on your own and then just get a client. And then my number one piece of advice, just never make the same mistake twice. As long as you do that, you're going to be completely fine. You're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. But as long as you just don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again, you're going to be completely fine. So don't be afraid. Don't be thinking, oh, I don't know enough about bookkeeping or QuickBooks to start my bookkeeping business, because here's the truth. It's going to take you a long time to get your first client. So right now you're worried, I don't know how to do bookkeeping, but you don't even have a client. So like you're worried about something that's not even a problem. So you're just wasting your time. So don't worry. Well, you should worry a little bit because it's going to be really, really hard to get your first client. So step number 1 in starting a bookkeeping business, learn bookkeeping in QuickBooks. Step number 2, marketing and sales. You got to put yourself out there and you got to reach out to people, because right now nobody knows who you are. And then don't even worry about steps 3 and 4 because they don't matter until you get your first client. Now, this brings me to the second question that I get all the time. Somebody else asked me, I have a degree or I have experience in bookkeeping. I want to start my own bookkeeping business, but I don't have any experience in marketing. So this is kind of half of the equation. Like I said, the first 2 steps, you got to learn bookkeeping in QuickBooks, but then you got to start sales and marketing. Now, let me be really super practical with this advice so that you could like really conceptualize what I'm talking about here. 2 weeks, that's all you have to spend. 2 weeks getting started, learn QuickBooks and bookkeeping and become a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. 1 hour every single day for 2 weeks, and you should be very close to becoming a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. If you have less time, or if you want to take your time, work a little slower, maybe 30 days max. 2 to 4 weeks, learn QuickBooks, learn bookkeeping fundamentals, and then start doing sales and marketing. And just to put things into perspective, it's going to take you 30 days to get your first client. So if you're serious about this, if you're willing to spend 1 to 2 hours every day, from today, it'll take you 60 days to getting your first client, which that might seem like a long time, but it's not. It's going to fly by. Or that might not seem like a long time, and it's not, but you have to work really, really hard. You have to work for legitimately 2 hours every single day, which is a decent amount of time, especially if you have a full-time job and kids and hobbies. Like 2 hours a day is a lot of time. But if you're serious about starting your bookkeeping business, you can do it in 60 days. I'm talking starting to getting your first client. Now, marketing and sales. Let me break it down for you real quick. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about, but so many people ask me, how do I do marketing? How do I get clients? Here is the secret. Here's what I have done. Now, this is not the only way. And let me just say, I'm not a sales guru or a marketing expert. I'm just telling you what has worked really well for me over the past 3 years. I have more than 50 clients who I do bookkeeping for every single month. So my marketing strategy is super, super simple. It's a 4-step process. And I do everything for free. Everything's on Facebook. Step number one, I create content every single day. It could be a video or a post or a picture or an infographic or a flyer. Doesn't matter. Create content every single day. Step number two, you have to find prospective clients. And I usually do that on Facebook, specifically in Facebook groups. Step number three, I connect with these prospective clients who are business owners, who should be local to your geographical region, just because people who are close to you, who live close to you, are more likely to trust you than somebody who lives really, really far away. That's just the way it is. So join Facebook groups, find prospective clients, aka business owners, connect with them or friend request them, and then finally engage with your community. Build relationships with these prospective clients. That way, in 30 days, after you become friends, after you get to know each other, after you talk, after you comment on their post, after they see the content that you're posting every day, then you can send them a DM on Facebook and you can say, hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. You have to do sales. So marketing is like creating the content, and then sales is like reaching out to people. You have to do sales in the first 30 to 60 days because nobody knows who you are. If you just sit back and create content or pay for ads, and if you just sit back and like wait for people to call you, it's not gonna happen. It might happen, but it's gonna take a long time. So if you wanna get clients fast in 60 days, you have to do sales, which means you have to reach out to people.